Hi! It's day 31. Yes, it's day 31, or so they say, they being me, and I agree with they. I am in the process of getting ready to do the inks on the Booster Gold Blue Beetle piece that I've been talking about. Wow, look at that. I'm being teleported. Scotty, beam me up. I'm talking about the lines of light on me. Anyway, but I haven't used my actual drawing table in a while, such that about halfway done cleaning it. As you can see, there's still a bunch of stuff here. I had to move some boxes of things I was going to eBay over here, and these are some boxes from San Diego and other random things here that I'm gonna have to move out, and I also need the dust. So despite wanting to jump right into work, I'm actually doing some housework. But that housework will allow me to do the artwork. Alright, I got it cleaned out enough, and I went ahead and actually dusted it because it was covered with dust, because I hadn't used it, I don't know, at least a month, probably more. And then what I've done, it's an 11 by 17 light box, although it's a hair bigger, and it's got no edge, which I like. And what I do is I printed out these from the computer, and it was 11 by 17, so I did two 8.5 by 11, and then I trimmed the middle to make sure they're a little bit flush. Tape them down with masking tape. I used to use Scotch tape, but it'd be really hard to get off. But anyway, this I have here, consider this my pencils. But because I didn't print it on blue line on a Bristol, I don't have those capabilities, I'm now going to tape a piece of Bristol over this. Here's the Bristol I use. This is Strathmore 300-pound 11 by 17. This says it's good for sequential art. That's a coincidence. I've bought this exact pad without that on top. Taped it down on top. I didn't use masking tape, although I have in the past. I used artist tape, which is better because it won't stick as much. This is from Pearl, but you can get it at Michael's or other various places. Artist tape is basically like masking tape, but it's usually white, and it doesn't stick as much, so it won't damage the paper as much if you need a nice finished product. The other thing is I have a little light here that I have on so I can see my inks, but it's washing out this area. When I turn it off, now I can see much more clearly. So this is, there's a piece of paper on top of this which I'll be inking on, and then when I want to check that, I'll turn on that light. But anyway, this is what I get working on right now, so I'll talk to you in a bit. Hey there, checking back in. It's been an hour and a half or so. Let me show you where I'm at. Just turn this off, and you can see I've got Beetle done, the fire, the smoke, the pizza, and most of this here. I still have to do Booster, the monster, and some other background stuff. And this is going to be tedious. It was a lot easier on the computer. Which brings me to something else I've been thinking about. The lighting's weird, I know, but whatever. Commissions. I don't typically get a lot of commissions. Usually at a show I'll get one or two, and after a show, somebody will contact me. But every now and then I get a random commission like the one I'm working on, and I'm always thankful, and I'm always grateful and happy that somebody likes my art enough to hire me. And again, as I've talked about this one, my style, characters I like, everything perfect. But because of how slow I am, and because of the increased level of my, for lack of a better term, perfectionism, and I hate to use that word because it implies that I'm getting to some perfect point, which I never do. I'm almost always unhappy with the finished product. But my quest for perfection, maybe, that I eventually abandoned because of deadlines or other reasons, and it's worse when I'm working for someone. Had I done, okay, in the case of the Blue Beetle, I had just done a Blue Beetle. And it came out okay, and I'm like, all right, I'll throw that up. And they bought it. No pressure, perfect. Then they say, and I don't want again, this is not a negative. I'm happy that they're hiring me. I don't want this to be construed as like, this jerk. No, they're supporting the arts. They're supporting me. They're getting a nice present for someone. Everything they're doing is right. I'm just crazy. But instead of having, doing it and just being like, okay, that's as good as I do. It's like, I like the fact that I'm doing it digitally first and then transferring it and stuff. I've spent hours and hours and hours on this. I mean, I did an hour and a half today. And I charged... I struggle with my pricing a lot, and as I've talked about in previous videos, I sort of doubled my basic commission prices, and I think that was correct, and I think where that is fine. But I think for my studio commissions, I'm still struggling with exactly how to price it. For this particular one, I'll just go ahead and tell you I charged $150. Now it's $150 for no color, black and white, but the fact that it's practical, the fact that it's analog, the fact that I need to give them a piece of ink artwork on Bristol always makes it harder because I can't erase, if I don't want to put a lot of white out on something that's going to be their finished product, and I can't really save it with the color, which I sometimes do. When I'm hired, very rarely, to do original art and people let me do digital, it's, when I'm, let me say that again. When I'm hired for a commission and they allow me to do digital, which happens rarely,
I usually charge a little less. It's a little easier. And so, but the thing is, I don't mind working. I keep pointing over here because that's where my drawing table is. I don't mind working like this. It's just more pressure, and it takes longer to get to the point where I'm going to be happy with the product I can give to them. So I haven't kept a really good track of how long I've worked on this, but I think it's safe to say I've put at least 7 hours in, 8 hours in. And it's not done. You know, I'll hopefully be done today in a few more hours. But let's say it takes me 10 hours. 10 hours from beginning to end. And I'm getting $150. That's $15 an hour. That's actually not bad. But then I have to ship it. And so I have to buy the shipping materials and pay the shipping. And Etsy takes a piece. So maybe I'm getting $125, something like that. So I'm getting like $12.50 an hour, which is in most states more than minimum wage, which is fine. But is that what I want to be getting paid for this? Now, in this particular case, because I like the characters and I see it as a good exercise, it's worth it. And because I talked to them and they said I can make a print of it, even though it's not quite on, you know, theme with what I normally do, there's the extra added value that I can make a print. If I couldn't make a print of this, I really don't know if it's worth it. Headshots are a lot easier because it's sort of in and out and there's a lot less thinking involved. But my point is, I've done images similar to this and charged more and had them be a lot easier to get done. And I've charged less and have them be harder to get done. So, you know, whenever we talk about pricing anything as artists, there's always that, like, we'll figure out how long it'll take you and how much you want to get paid and the materials. And, like, there's tangible monetary ways to figure these things out, theoretically. But I'm better than I used to be, but I've been a professional artist for over 10 years, 15 years, I don't know however long it's been, in some capacity or another, but it's always changing. I was an animator in a studio, then I was doing caricatures, then, you know, like, then I did comics for a while, then I do this, and, you know, so it's really hard for me to estimate how long something's going to take. And even if I say, okay, well, this was, you know, 2 characters in a scenario on 11 by 17, it took me 10 hours. And again, I'm kind of guessing at that number. And so I want to get at least 15 an hour, so I'll charge 150, but because of the other fees, I'll say 175, and that'll get me 15 an hour, which is low for an illustrator, to be clear. Now, the next time I get something and someone says, okay, I want Darth Vader fighting Luke Skywalker, you know, in a lightsaber duel in the carbon freezing chamber. Okay, that's very similar to what I'm doing. It's 2 characters, it's a background, you know, so okay, well, last time I said 150, and I'll say 175, but I could see that taking a lot longer, because Darth Vader's got that complicated helmet and stuff, and so then it's like, I'm pricing per... I want to have like a uniform pricing list, so I don't have to think about it, and so it's fair for everybody, but I feel like I end up reinventing my prices each time based on the request, which isn't a terrible thing, and it seems fair, but it's difficult because I often guess wrong. Like, okay, well, Darth Vader, that'll maybe take me an extra hour, so I'll add an extra 20 bucks on it. Nope, it took me an extra 3 hours. You know, like, I don't know how to estimate these things, and, you know, if somebody has an idea that they could tell me, feel free, but most of the time it's like, oh, after you've done it a while, you get to know how long things take you, and I still haven't reached that point. And like, I don't know, it's tough. And right now, things are a little slow, like professionally, which is fine because I want to be working on my book, but now I'm like, I've spent a couple days working on this, whereas I could have been working on the horror, and it's like, is the money I'm making for this worth it? I don't know, but I'm also helping out some, but there's also the, hey, somebody likes my work and helping that out, and honestly, that's a bigger part of it than the money I'm getting. Not that money isn't nice, but I also have like 6 corporate characters that I need to do, each of which will take me less time than this, and each of which is paying me about the same amount. So it's, you know, it's that comic book thing of like, this is the work I like doing, but it takes forever and pays terrible. I don't know, I'm just giving thoughts on how I find it difficult to do pricing, and as I'm putting more and more time to this, I'm remembering like, man, I'm spending a lot of time on something that is not getting me as much money as other jobs could, and then whatever, you get the point. I'm a mess.
Alright, it's been a bit longer, I think at least an hour and a half, maybe more, and I'm done. Quote, 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 done.
Here you can see it's completely inked, which is why I say it's, quote, done. There are some areas that I would have liked to have popped a little bit more, and some, you know, like, I'm not going to put any white out on it. So it's just a matter of, do I want to add, like, a dark line here, etc., etc. I'm also thinking I might hit it with just a little bit of gray Copic, just to maybe pop these guys out more, since they're the whole point of it. But yeah, I'm going to go get it scanned before I do that.
And actually, it's about 5:45, so I think I'm going to take this to get scanned. I got to either make or pick up dinner soon, so I'm done with this until later tonight, which is fine, because Copics are a lot quicker, and I just have to have it packed up, ready to go for tomorrow. That's how I ship things. I think about them and open my mouth, and then they fly. No, that's not true. I use the postal office. Post office. Good.
Sometimes when a bonehead in a big truck takes up part of an extra spot for no reason, look, there was room in there. It's not even like he was squeezed in. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but he, for some reason, decided to park all the way over. But you know what? I got my little car. It's a fit, and I fit right in. So, up yours, Raider Nation man. Or woman, I don't know.
All right, I'm walking away from FedEx Kinko's where I got a scan made. This is just an envelope that I have the Booster Gold Blue Beetle art in. Usually it's like a buck or two for an 11x17 high quality scan, but once again, just somebody I know in there that I'm friendly with just did me a favor, so that's awesome. I guess I should keep being nice. Since it's almost 7 and I'm already out, it looks like I'm rocking the taco bell. Hey there, it's going on 1 a.m. I've put in, well, more than 30 minutes. I didn't, let's say 45, maybe an hour, but at least 30 is the point. In on what? Well, in on page 1 once again. Let's take a look.
Survey says 2 more panels done. Out of the 9, I got 2 left. Here we go. We got this overhead, and I did actually put in dialogue, even though I had previously said I wouldn't, although it's still just sound effects similar to this. I'm tempted to want to put sound effects in these 2 just so that everything has it, but whatever, we'll see. And then here's her walking out of the house, which I had not yet designed, so I sort of kind of just designed it on the fly, because I don't know how much I'm going to be showing the outside of it, and if I need to draw it again, I'll just make sure that matches. So, yeah, there's did-it, go-go-go. Did-it, go-go-go.
Did-it, go-go-go. Did-it, go-go. Okay, enough.
So that's my 30 minutes. I got my booster thing done. I got it all packed up, ready to go. Actually, I think the last time I showed it to you, the inks were done. Went and got it scanned. After I got it scanned, I put a little bit of Copic marker in there, just a little bit of cool and gray, cool and warm grays. I'll throw it up here so you can see the difference. And there it was. I just thought it popped it out a little bit more, but I got the scan of the inks first in case I decide I want to make a print of it. I can still do that without having to worry about erasing the Copic or whatever. Sent her the preview. I thought it was gonna fall. Sent her the picture I just took of it. She paid me already, so I'm mailing it out tomorrow, so that's all awesome. I'm gonna do that on my way to the signing tomorrow at Variant Comics and Games. Comics, Collectibles, and Games? Variant. Down in Morgan Hill, California. It's scheduled for 2 hours, 1 to 3. If it's going well, I'll stay longer, but who knows. I have my small batch of comics. I'll bring some prints, do some sketches, whatever. And I'll have a little road trip in the morning. I need to put my load of wash, in the dryer, because I just realized I have no socks for tomorrow. So I'm going to do that, take a shower, probably then go to bed. Probably then try to go to bed, to be more accurate. Which would bring a close to the end of today. Today being day 31. And if today is day 31, well then that means 69 days left!